On this episode, I share with you the pros and cons of an FHA mortgage. Welcome everyone to this episode 88 of the AskJasonGelios show. I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. Really appreciate you guys tuning in here. Be sure to share your thoughts throughout this video in the comments below, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch this video. My goal in these episodes that I do every week is to provide value and answers to common questions and not so common questions, but they're certainly important. So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of an FHA mortgage. FHA is a very popular mortgage option that allows buyers, mostly first-time home buyers, to actually purchase a home with very little money down. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the pros. Now, the biggest pro with FHA, I feel, is that they're not as intensive. They're not as concerned with credit scores, meaning you can have a much lower credit score and still get a pretty good rate. Matter of fact, oftentimes FHA interest rates are lower than conventional or regular 30-year fixed mortgages, right? And 15-year fixed mortgages. So FHA has much more attractive interest rates, and they are a little more forgiving with credit history. Now, you also, another pro here is the fact that they only require a 3.5% down payment, which a lot of times you can have part of that covered. But 3.5% down payment compared to a lot of mortgages out there where they ask you for 10% or 20% down. 3.5, pretty good. They often will go a little bit higher, allow higher debt to ratio income ratios. What that means is you can have a little more debt per month compared to your income, but that's okay. Now, why would they do this, right? Why would they do this? Well, it's simply because it's backed by FHA, and so there's less risk for the lenders, okay? Now, FHA tends to be an easier mortgage to get qualified for. That's why I see a lot of first-time buyers going for FHA. It's a great option, I feel. It just allows you so many more advantages than your regular conventional loan. Now, also too, sellers can also provide up to 6% in concessions, or they can help you with your closing costs. Now, what I see a lot of is 3%, quite honestly, right? 6% is aggressive, but depending on what market you're in, if you're in a buyer's market, you can probably get the full 6%, and there's ways to negotiate that. So, and another benefit too, although this isn't as common as far as I've seen, right, in my local market, but if you have an FHA mortgage, you can do what's called a streamlined FHA refinance. And what that is it's allows you to just do a couple things with the existing lender and just do an FHA streamline, an easy refinance where maybe you just get appraisal and then boom, they lower your interest rate, they give you a whole new option. So it's a streamlined refinance, fairly common if you're looking to refinance your FHA mortgage. So while there are certainly a lot of pros here, right, with FHA, let me share with you some of the cons. Now, some of the cons with an FHA mortgage, which quite honestly there's less than a handful, I feel, but is that there are purchase price limits. You can't just go out and get $1 million home on an FHA mortgage, okay? There are limits, and it just varies. It has changed in the past year or two, I believe, so definitely look into that. I know they're generous, right? But just know that there are loan limits for FHA mortgages. Now, there's a lot more paperwork involved, and it's a little bit, it's a more involved process. meaning the home has to actually allow FHA. It has to be FHA ready. Certain things, like when you're having your inspection and all that, you want to make sure that the home will pass FHA, because the FHA qualified appraiser will go out and they will flag certain things if they're not FHA approved, and then you'll have to get that fixed, or the seller will have to get that fixed. So, which on that note, not every home is FHA approved. Not every listing agent or homeowner, home seller, will want to do FHA or accept FHA, right, as a deal. So, and actually too, FHA is a harder loan to sell to home sellers. When you're in a buyer's market, it's very tough, because if you have somebody coming in with a 30-year fixed, right, or 15-year fixed conventional loan, which is your vanilla loan, right, it's common, and you're trying to come in FHA asking for assistance, chances are they're going to go with the regular loan. So it can hurt you in a buyer's market. So just know that. Mortgage insurance tends to be more expensive compared to other loans. You're going to pay more mortgage insurance up front, and the monthly mortgage insurance is higher on FHA. So those are just some of the main cons of an FHA mortgage. These certainly aren't all the cons and aren't all the pros, but there's a lot more pros than cons when you're doing FHA. I have several clients now doing FHA, and it's a really great option because it's less money out of pocket, and you can get the seller to help you out with closing costs and things like that, up to 6%. So that's pretty attractive. It's really cool. So that concludes this show. I really appreciate it. If you have any further questions about FHA, or if you need to get FHA approved, let me know. I can refer you to FHA expert. Please share your comments below. Keep your questions coming. The content on these shows, for those of you new to the show, these questions come from actual people that ask me this stuff. So I really appreciate that feedback. So I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor, and make it a great day.